Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
While you're in sunny Florida, be sure to visit
WARlando! Enter into a world of epic adventure.
This is our 23rd chapter, playing the Dungeons & Dragons adventure, Out of the Abyss.
All right, so lots of action last time, and lots of leveling up to level 8 that's gone on. Who wants to ask any level questions or anything for the benefit of the audience? We were having a little bit of banter beforehand here, but anybody want to update the audience on what they did briefly?
Damn. We did all that talking before.
I know. I know.
Well, I'm still deciding. Next.
Are you taking a level as Bard or Warlock?
I think since we're halfway, I think there should be for myself a kind of an even playing field. So I did 4/4 now. Nice. So I'm taking one as Bard. So yep.
Great. Yeah, that's when I feel like multi-classing really hits its stride, is like when you hit level 8 and you can be, two fully developed characters in one, right?
I like that. Yeah, it's pretty two personalities of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
I took a feat.
Mm-hmm.
Dungeon Delver.
Yeah, what's that do?
I will be alert to the hidden traps and secret doors found in many dungeons, and I gain the following benefits. I have advantage on Wisdom, Perception, and Intelligence investigation checks made to detect the presence of secret doors. I have advantage on saving throws made to avoid or resist traps. I have resistance to damage dealt by traps. And traveling at a fast pace doesn't impose the normal -5 penalty to my passive Wisdom Perception score.
Plenty of rations. All the
Nice, I love it.
But more importantly, being able to, see bad guys first.
Yeah, well, I feel that's like a proper red shirt feat too, right? Like, just shove her out in front; she'll be fine. Like,
wait, no. I want a yellow shirt or a blue shirt.
Right. Dak, you were saying you're leaning into the dark side.
Yeah.
Of the Force.
Sticking with Warlock, I took Pact of the Blade, keeping in character with my focus on my sword work.
Mm-hmm. And Mornhelm, you went for one of the newer feats out there called Shadow Touched, right?
Shadow Touched Intelligence, yeah. Learn invisibility and inflict wounds, a necromancy that I can use without a slot. Later on I can use with, or I can wait till I don't have any slots and then use them. It seemed mean. I thought it was good.
Yeah. You haven't seen too many invisible fighters. That's pretty great.
Yeah.
Well, I keep thinking of making somebody else invisible, so that if Dak is standing up to somebody and the invisible person comes up behind them, but as soon as they use their weapons, then they can be seen. But you can do a lot before you're seen.
Yeah, absolutely.
We might as well, we could corner a person and have, you're close to them, ready to go, get advantage.
Yeah, for sure.
I know it'll never work, but I thought it would.
Yeah, no, it'll. I'm sure that'll come in handy. Invisibility is like you'll find a creative use for it sooner or later, for sure. Clocks, I know you're still debating, but what's that?
Have non-detection, but it doesn't seem to do very much with anybody. Just
and feel free to swap that out if you're not getting much use of it. I don't want to just sit on have it taking up space on your character sheet if you don't find it. That would have been a good one for Curse of Strahd, because he was scrying all the time.
Right, but it's part of the feat. So the four things are all just part of the feat. I don't have to pay for them.
Gotcha. Clocks, I know you're still noodling on it, but any early thoughts?
Well, I mean, the feat list is just so big.
Yeah.
But I feel like some things like Ritual Caster looks kind of neat. Where you have a spell book, and you can, I guess if we come across other spell scrolls, which I'm not sure how many we've done. I think we've come across 1 or 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then I can take those and try to learn them and, like write them down and copy them into my spell book so I can cast those.
That's neat.
Yeah. So I was just looking at that. That's the one I've seen I like so far. So I kind of like the idea of learning new spells as we go. Kind of like as the artificer, I kind of have my, my spell book, my engineering book, and maybe I'm like copying things down.
Yeah, you get your crib notes and you're sort of just noodling it out on the side and figuring out, oh, that works like this. Yeah.
Keep my compass and protractor ready.
Yep. Well, very cool. Do we have any volunteers to give a recap from last time?
Ambush.
Correct. That's exactly right.
Big ambush.
Yeah.
So we decided to leave.
Mm-hmm.
We decided to head out towards the, they told us where to go. And on our way there to get to the portal to take us to the surface, we got ambushed. And turns out it was I forget what her name is, but it was the drow.
All along.
Yeah.
Mistress Ilvara.
Mistress Elvara, yes. So she caught us just at the last moment, like she said she would. And so we fought her and her cronies.
And what happened to her?
I don't want to get too ahead of the story. So, Mark, why don't you tell us?
I don't remember. I think we need to go to the recap king.
Well, I know she was defeated. What I want to know is did Zakram take her head too?
I think I decapitated her and bequeathed the head to Zach, right?
Yeah, and the sword.
Yeah, I know there was one point where the head came off, and then we knocked it into the Medusa head. I think we were playing like curling with it. All the heads were coming off. I don't know what's wrong with people's necks these days, but there's a serious issue with them. So, at least when we're around.
We're headed to Waterdeep, and Zakram.
I get it.
We're headed there.
I see what you did there.
Are we ahead of time?
Zakram, you're this impressive bard. I imagine you putting on this amazing puppet show.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be like a Rob Zombie concert.
Yeah, someone
gonna be
took
wonderful.
Some necromancy powers, right? So preserve the head, right?
Yeah.
Teach them their lines, they'll be fine.
Yeah, no other body parts, just heads, like all stitched
just
together,
heads.
reanimated.
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be like the Hall of Presidents in Futurama.
Exactly.
A bunch of heads and jars.
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah. The good stuff.
Awesome.
So we have all the heads. I think we're well equipped. Rations, heads.
Oh yeah.
That's going to be our new count too that we're worried about.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Mushrooms that we know what to do with.
Is that our head count?
It most certainly is.
All right. Well, you guys bamf through the portal, and you find yourselves on a well-traveled and rutted road, which you all know, if you stay on it, will take you directly to the city of Waterdeep, with a couple of weeks' travel. Is there anything you'd like to accomplish along that route, or shall we fast forward to the city?
I want to hold up Dawnbringer so she can see the sun.
She's like, if I had eyes, I'd be crying, Selkie. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Does she gain power? Better battery life?
No, she just would be like like the equivalent of just bathing, basking in the the ground, and all of you too. Like you haven't seen the sun in months and months at this point, you know. So it's probably for those of you that aren't fans of the dark as much, it's probably relieving and refreshing to finally got out of there.
I'm used to dimly lit bars, so I'm hissing at it.
Take a big deep breath and let's go to the bar.
Right. All right, that's enough sunshine. Back inside.
Yeah. It's lousy.
Nice.
Whose idea was this anyway?
Who just got dark sight?
I did.
Right.
I did. Yeah. Finally, I can see in total darkness, and we're done with it.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's it.
Let's move on.
Perfect.
Be thrown in a hold or something.
All right. So you all travel. We're gonna do. Time's gonna be a little fluid here as we sort of progress, but as you all arrive at the City of Splendor, the massive gates of Waterdeep are wide open with the normal foot traffic of travelers of every race and creed and strange creatures beyond count. And you all sort of enter the eastern gate and find yourselves there in the city. And you have a fairly open amount of downtime here. So I want to go around the horn here and just see what everybody kind of wants to accomplish here in the short term. And for those of y'all that might not know, I mean, Waterdeep is whatever you want to call it, the New York City, the London, the Tokyo of the Forgotten Realms worlds. You know, pretty much any path you want to chase or person you want to meet, there's going to be some kind of connection here to it. So the lid is off in terms of narrative here, but let me, I'm going to go clockwise on my screen here and say, Mornhelm, what's something you want to accomplish here while you're in Waterdeep?
Well, I'll just check over weapons and women.
Weapons and women.
Not necessarily in that order.
Great. Yeah. You all can get your gear squared away pretty straightforwardly. You have a fair amount of cash, and a war hero, a grizzled veteran such as yourself, will have no problem with the fairer sex either. Dak, what do you want to chase while you have some time here in the city?
Well, I am a member of the Zentarim, and I am a worshiper of Bane, the Tyrant Lord. I don't think either one of them is warmly welcomed in Waterdeep, but I just want to keep my eyes and ears open. I want to look for any hints of members of my order that might be traveling here in Waterdeep.
Sure. And you all would probably have, what I imagine is either a secret sign or a look or a rough place, a way to make contact, right? What do you think that might look like?
I would have to look it up, but there is a saying that if one person says something like, the weather is cold today, but I always pack an umbrella.
Right.
Something along those lines that people say when they're a member of the Zentarim to help recognize each other.
Yeah, like spycraft, phrase, counterphrase, something like that. Yeah,
exactly right. And I think there is something like that for the Zentarim that I would have to look up. But I know that the Zentarim do have a presence in Waterdeep, so I need to keep my eyes and ears open for that.
Outstanding.
Are they extensive? Are they all over, or just in the Waterdeep area?
The Zentarim is in the Forgotten Realms, Faerun. They are a large group, not exactly a cult, but a guild. The Zentrum are a guild
Yep.
that's expansive in Faerun.
I just got to say, too, Adam, that I don't think you need to look it up. I would like it to be exactly that phrase that you said.
You said it. It's a thing. Yeah.
Do umbrellas even exist in this world?
Well, yeah. Oh, no. Maybe not umbrellas, but maybe we can make it a parasol.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Sure, clocks could rig something up.
Hand painted.
I need a stick for the rain with like springs in it.
Like half of that slogan was from Captain America: First Avenger. So I don't think that's maybe a Zentrum quote that'll work. At some point during our break, I'm going to look it up and I'm going to get the correct quote.
All right. Nice. Like it. And I should say here too, if the rest of you find those factions interesting and are interested in having your character seek out or join one of those factions, or there are several others too, which we can talk about if that's something you guys are interested in. If not, we can totally skip it. But that is totally an option while you're here in Waterdeep. So that's maybe one possibility as we go around the horn here. But moving right along, Selkie, you're in the big city.
She's definitely gonna immediately search out a pastry shop. Yeah, all the things that she couldn't find in the Underdark. Just go for a food tour of Waterdeep.
Right, no mushrooms and anything ever, right?
No, if anyone offers her a mushroom, she'll shift a little bit and hiss at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better be chocolate flavored.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, you have no problem finding all kinds of sweets. There's a little halfling-led shop down one of the alleys that everybody's been raving about recently, and they have like a chocolate glaze on it, and like there's like some kind of secret they have to make it extra light and fluffy.
Nice. Yeah, and then after gaining about 10 pounds, she would probably seek out the nearest Wild Hunt shifters, just to kind of touch base with her community.
Okay. And I don't know of that in canon, but make it up as you want. Do you know of a community near Waterdeep or friends that you have? And it's okay if invent it now if you want.
Oh yeah, she would just, continuing along with her mission to also eat her way through Waterdeep. She would just reach out in pubs and stuff, and
okay. Very cool.
Also reach out to fellow grifters while keeping Dawnbringer quietly behind her back so Dawnbringer doesn't hear anything.
Okay. Awesome.
And I feel like there might be some overlap there with people that of nefarious repute that might be both Zentrum and other types.
Yeah, I don't know much about that, so I guess I would need a bit of a...
So the Zents are definitely like they're sort of more individualistic, definitely not afraid to lean into the darker side of their nature a little bit, but don't necessarily have a big guild shop or anything like that. You'd find little individuals here and there who might be anything from your run-of-the-mill cut purse to a necromancer, or someone like Dak, who's on the dark side of the force there, right? So all kinds of possibilities there for sure.
Okay.
So Clocks, Waterdeep presents a playground of a different sort for someone with your goals.
Yeah. I guess maybe with my new found ability of taking in like written spells, can you buy or like can you find spell scrolls throughout the city like this?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. So I'd keep my eye open for some shops like that, and maybe some like secondhand shops, like little trinkets, whatnot. You know, maybe
souvenirs. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, maybe find.
Waterdeep thrift store here and there.
Yeah, Waterdeep thrift store here and there. But yeah, I guess I'm keeping my. I guess I'm also always interested in knowing, you know, if I see any sort of like, like riotous or kind of like protesting or anything like that. I kind of am like, oh, what's going on over here?
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
find a way to give it a nudge a little bit.
Yeah. You know, I always have time to join a cause.
Awesome.
Or to start one.
Yeah, you'll definitely find a guy in a cart who's like selling whatever the equivalent of like the little plastic statues of liberties are if you were in New York. Like this guy's like got little plastic or wood carved figures of Blackstaff Tower, you know, and of like the major milestones there and stuff like that. So you can totally find that stuff.
Nice.
All right, Zoc.
All right, I know Zoc is going to love to crawl through the music halls here. Music halls and music shops. He wants to take a look at all the different instruments, maybe ones that he's not familiar with, and kind of just see how they work and play. Not necessarily purchase any, since he has a great gift of being able to create. So I think he's looking at maybe even creating his own instruments and just seeing and comparing and seeing maybe some shows if there are any, and just observing some of the other performers and seeing how the crowd responds to them. And because that's really his goal and glory, is to, you know, be on the stage and be that center of attention for everyone. So,
well, I was going to say, do you want to perform while you're here, or seek opportunities to perform?
If the opportunity arises, yeah,
it definitely, it'll definitely arise. And in fact, go ahead and roll a D6 for me, Zoc.
That is a 6.
Oh, buddy.
That's
so
high.
You're in a music shop, and you're kind of talking to this one-armed half orc who has all kinds of stringed instruments and percussion things, and he can't play anymore because he lost an arm battling and stuff like that. But he says, but I just love this stuff, and I love seeing the musicians come through here. And he says, and he sees you sort of playing around with the instruments, and he says, hey, you're pretty good. If you wanna play some shows, I can get you set up around town.
My eyes get big.
Yeah, he's like, all right. Well, we're gonna start you off slow. There's a little dive bar off Troll Skull Alley over here. We're gonna, and maybe tomorrow night you show up and do your bit. What do you think?
I think that's amazing.
Oh,
I'm totally there.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Did the phase res stop affecting him once he hit the surface, or is he still 8?
I will say, if you want to seek out a way to get rid of it, you definitely can here in Waterdeep. If you want to go back to your original,
I think it might be time to go back.
Okay.
To my original self. I mean, it was fun playing down, but I think now that he'd like to get his own personality back.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. Do you want to do that before or after your shows?
I think I would like to do that before.
Okay.
Especially if I'm trying to make a name.
Can't stay after.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Zoc comes running out to y'all, and you're shopping. You're eating pastries. Dax sort of keeping an eye on the crowds in the dark alleys for his faction mates. Mornhelm, you're wenching, and Zoc comes running up to you all and says he's landed a gig tonight at the pub down on Troll Skull Alley, and wants you all, of course, if you'd like to come along.
Yeah,
we'll be there.
All right. All right.
Now I'm just curious about this orc. He lost one of his arms. What instruments did he play?
He says, all of these were all mine. Yeah, but I mean, nobody wants to see a one-armed freak, trying to play a guitar or sitar.
It'd be awesome because I did hear of this one band called Tone Deaf Leopard, and I remember I think it was the drummer who actually only had one arm.
He's like, he's like, well, I don't know, man. That's for you young guys. I don't think I'm cut out for it anymore. And he sort of like turns his head to the side so you can't see him shed one orky tear.
Oh man, I'll invite him out if he wants to come out. Since he offered me the gig, I'd love to get him on stage.
Yeah, maybe he can clap along.
Yeah, there we go. It'd be great. I don't say that.
Perfect. I mean, he can still do the horns, right? That's not a problem. All right. So we'll fast forward a little bit then to, and what I'm thinking here is, Zoc, you're going to play a series of gigs here around town.
Okay.
And you're going to, we're going to make just one-time performance checks just to see how they go.
Okay.
And see if you can raise your notoriety here. And you rolled a 6, so we're going to have a total of 6 gigs, 6 chances to really impress and start a fan base here. And these shows, while Zoc is performing, these will be y'all's chances to accomplish your other goals, try to make contacts with people. Clocks, you can put your ear to the ground to listen for any rabble-rousing. Mornhelm, obvious opportunities here to accomplish everything that you're up to. And Selkie, there'll be no shortage of goodies. And,
I'll be writing down recipes to take back to Tappy too.
For sure. And if you do contact with your kin, you can definitely invite them out. Get them the VIP treatment.
Yeah.
Just one more question then. What name is everybody? What name are you going to perform under, Zoc?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm going to go under right now, maybe like Zocrum the Infernal.
Zocrum the Infernal?
Yeah. Or dang it. Give me a second. I'll think of something.
Okay, cool. Random name generator now.
Yeah.
I feel like all we do is come up with band names when we play D&D.
Yeah, there really is.
A list 50 long, and now we can't think of one.
Yeah, dang it. I know. You need to bust out that book.
The Talking Heads.
Oh, I love it.
There you go.
I love it. You know what? That's exactly what I'll do. Zocrum and the Talking Heads.
Beautiful.
That'd be perfect for your one-armed friend.
That's Yeah, I love it. Yeah, and that those will be just adornments up there, on the stage. So
all right, so that is that kind of what your set looks like? Is you get up there, you play, and you have these heads that are sort of on stage.
Yeah, I'll be using some of my cantrips just to kind of like mimic, the kind of the head up there, kind of like the haunted mansion, the head, and it's just the projected mouth on the. Maybe singing along and stuff. So yeah, I think that'll be good. Yeah.
Now it's like the Hall of Presidents at Epcot, right? It's just like laser mouthed on. Awesome. All right. So go ahead and roll a d20 for your first gig, or you can add your performance modifier.
Okay, great. It's gonna be a 16.
All right, 16. The show is rocking, and the proprietors are really happy, and you get people are actually more people are coming in than are going out. You know what I mean? So you're starting to draw them in, and you get some good traction there, and get to shake off the rust for the first attempt at it.
Good.
Going around the horn then real quick. Mornhelm, do you want to make a charisma check for me and see how the dating scene is?
Where's my charisma? I got 18.
18. All right. Yeah. You.
No, 16. I'm sorry.
Great.
16.
Yeah. You definitely catch the attention of what's your what kind of you can take your pick of the litter here in terms of the folks. There's all kinds of folks in Waterdeep. So who do you find that's up for a night of having fun?
The blue group.
A what?
The blue group.
The blue group?
Yeah, all those ladies that are blue over there in the corner. Might be the lighting. Might be them. I'm not sure.
Perfect.
I sense a definite like Captain Kirk thing going on here.
Exactly.
Perfect.
I've never seen anyone like that before.
All right. Dak, I'm thinking for you either investigation or perception, or what else do you think to try to spot, or is there something you're actively doing to try to scare up a action?
I looked it up while we were talking about it. The Zentrum refer to themselves as the family. So I'm keeping my ears open for anybody talking about life, and I ask them about not your family, the family. Trying to keep my ears open. Maybe an insight check?
Yeah, insight or investigation, perception, whatever you think's appropriate.
A 13.
All right. You don't make a connection this time.
Okay.
But you know that Zock's doing well, so you'll probably get some more chances here.
Okay.
Selkie, are you just kind of hanging out for this first show, or is there just enjoying things? You want to socialize, make friends, steal, whatever?
Yeah. I don't plan on spending any of the wealth that I have acquired so far, so I'm definitely grifting here and there, doing a little sob story once in a while to get somebody to pay for a drink, cutting a purse if I need to, but trying to go for other ways.
Yeah, roll, let's see, either persuasion or deception, your choice, to try to get somebody talked into paying for your evening.
We'll go deception.
All right.
8. Not very fun tonight.
Yeah, you lay out the sob story, and this tiefling guy's like, I've heard it 100 times, sweetheart, and walks off, right? but he's kind of a jerk, so if you wanted to go for the old coin purse, is a thievery check the right check, or is it a sleight of hand?
I don't know, maybe a sleight of hand.
I don't remember if 5e has a thievery check or not.
It doesn't. Sleight of hand's in there, though.
So sleight of hand it is.
All right. Also an 8.
Uh-oh.
All right, I'm gonna roll perception for him. Oof. So he rolled a 17, and so he kind of looks back and he says, "Yeah, that's what I thought. This is why you don't hang out in Troll Skull Alley." And he
it's so much easier in the dark.
Yeah, he takes off, and he will not steal any of his golds.
Do I have an opportunity to punch him?
Yeah, if you want to brawl, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm definitely going to attack this guy.
Are you gonna do it inside, or are you gonna wait till he leaves?
Inside.
All right.
And I'm not off to a good start.
Attack?
That's a 9.
It's a 9. All right. I think a commoner's AC is 10.
I'm sorry, 11.
Oh, then you clock him.
All right, good. 5 damage to this guy.
You knock him out cold.
All right.
He just he says something shitty to Selkie, and you just he turns around to walk away, and you just bam.
I'm gonna nod appreciatively at Zach.
Yeah.
And split the coin purse with him.
Nod returned.
But it's a dive bar in Troll Skull Alley, and Zock's music's probably a little on the heavier side, right?
Yeah, mosh pit.
Right. Yeah, so the bouncers just this one can't hold his liquor, and they drag him off and throw him out the front door. And now you can take his coin purse if you want, Selkie.
Yeah, definitely.
Anything else that's worth anything.
Awesome.
Roll a d10, Selkie.
D10. 6.
All right, 6 gold pieces are yours.
3 to Dak.
All
Awesome.
right.
Thanks.
So Clocks, you're pretty happy here. There's chaos going on. There's a fight. It's your kind of place. What are you up to while you're in here?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So I guess I'm just I'm just kind of surveying the crowd, maybe trying to, eavesdrop as I'm hearing other people talk, and trying to hear if anything interesting, any mischievous activity is going on in town. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess I'm just kind of listening.
Sure. Roll perception.
Let's see.
I mean, you're already off to a better start than me, so.
Yeah. 10.
Yep. You don't notice anything this time. The music's kind of loud and it's a bit dark in here. But all right. Well done. Let's see, Zoc, we're going to fast forward to your next 2 shows. We're going to do those both at once right now. So go ahead and give me 2 performance checks.
All right. I got a 21 and a 24.
Oh,
nice.
Wow. Okay, that's great. So yeah, they happen in that order too. Like a couple of nights later, yeah, you're starting to get, you're starting to feel the half work is like, man, that went really well last night. I got a bigger place, and then you nail it that night, and then the night after, he's like, you gotta go on again. Like there's people asking for you. Like there's a lot of, wow, you're really coming on strong here on the scene. And then the night when you roll the 24, like it's as far as your performance career, it's like you definitely like start to hit your stride, right? Like you're starting to pick up all the cues, you're really reading the crowd. You're starting to see a couple of the same faces showing up over and over again, right? And the Zoc the Infernal is, or the Talking Heads. Zoc and the Talking Heads is starting to get a little bit of street cred. Real quick checks going around the horn here. Mornhelm, anything else you want to accomplish, or are you still going to work the dating scene?
I'm just loving my life.
All right, 10-4. Roll one more charisma check for me.
21 with a natural 20.
With a natural 20. All right.
Yes.
No problem. So like if you're into the blue group, then they've heard about you by this point, and now they're like bringing a couple of more people every time they show up.
Very good.
So you're like the center of attention in this group of what race are they? The blue folks. What do you think?
Well, they're fairly humanoid. Horn every once in a while, but fairly humanoid.
Barely.
It's not a every night isn't a new exploration to find out where I am, but no, they're wonderful.
All right, great. All right, Dak, why don't you, if you're still trying to make a connection, go ahead and make another couple rolls for me, one for each night.
All right, got a 16.
Ooh, nice.
And a 14.
All right, that second night, the 16, you make a pretty solid connection. This human that's kind of wearing an eye patch and has a dusty jacket on. You see him sort of leaning up against the back corner, and you're able to successfully complete the sign and countersign with him, and he kind of nods and gestures towards the door, as if to, do you want to talk outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I do.
Yep. So he comes out there and says gives you the basic greetings, and you guys are feeling each other out to make sure it's on the up and up, and everything seems to be fine there. And he says, "Okay, so what are you up to? What's the angle here? What are you working?"
We're new in town, and we're looking for opportunities.
Okay. Well, your friend in there that runs a pretty good distraction. It's a great chance for lots of things. What do you want to accomplish here?
Looking for power.
Power. Well, he says, well, depending on how high you want to go, there's lots of different opportunities here. There's there's always the politics of the city here, which are constantly in flux. If you're looking for power via wealth, I mean, take your pick. There's shipping lanes and and unaware merchants galore. There's all kinds of ways in and out of this city that the general public doesn't know about.
And what do you know about Skullport?
He kind of like looks around and like draws you back like further behind a corner, and he's like, Skullport, he says, yeah, you trying to go there?
I've always heard tell it's one of the best places for our group.
Says, yeah, it's true. It's true. I haven't been, but I've got it on good authority. There's an outpost there looking to run contraband back and forth from the Underdark. If that's what you want to do, I can set you up. I'll set you up with a ship that'll take you there.
That sounds like a good start, but I'm not interested in being just a smuggler.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm looking for something bigger.
He says, I believe you can do it. And he kind of looks you up and down, and by this point, you're like the more grizzled veteran, version of Dak, right? You've got a look about you from the horrors you've seen, and he definitely doesn't want to cross you, or he's even a little bit intimidated by you. And he says, all right. Well, I'll make sure I send word ahead to the captain that you're meant to be treated appropriate with your station. And, but when you get down there, hey, all bets are off. You know how it is. It's a power struggle everywhere we go, but I can set you up.
That sounds like a great start.
He says, all right, now, what's in it for me? Come on.
What do you want in it for you?
He says, I could either... He says, there's the standard fare here, or, I'm always looking for opportunities myself. Can you put me on to anything?
Maybe. I might have passage into the Underdark. Is that something you'd like access to?
He says, really? Yeah, I can see that. I can make that work. If we can get drow weapons out of there, any kind of people would want to buy those things.
I know where there's some drow weapons just sitting around.
He says, sounds like you could just cut straight to the chase then. What can you do for me?
Selkie's gonna spill a drink on the guy's lap.
Let's
he says, hey.
Let's see what pans out on your end first before I start giving away my secrets. Let's see if you have something worthwhile to trade.
He says, all right, fair enough. He says, it'll take me a minute to get things set up, make sure it all checks out, but meet me, and he gives you a spot in the docks. He says, meet me here in a week at midnight, and I'll have things set up for you, and make sure you bring those drow weapons.
Whatever it takes to take care of the family.
And he nods and gives you the appropriate countersign, and then he'll sort of disappear off down the street. All right. Well done. Selkie clocks. What are you guys trying to accomplish in these next two nights of Zoc gaining fame and Dak digging into the underbelly of Waterdeep? Morhelm's just turning into a party guy.
Selkie is gonna try to convince Dak not to give up the location of the portal.
Well, I say don't.
That was hard earned.
Don't worry about that yet. I'm gonna make sure that we're well taken care of. And I am interested in. I'm second generation Zentrim. I think that this organization has a lot to offer. I'd love to see all of you become members as I am.
I see.
Is that something any of y'all would find persuasive?
Yeah.
Do we have drow weapons in our bottomless pit in our
yeah
magic bag? I thought we brought some with us, right?
You definitely do. A few of them, like if it's drow craft stuff, like Selkie's armor, and you would have known this, Selkie, because you figured this out before, but like it can't be exposed to sunlight.
Right.
As it will- and you can wrap it up, hide it.
Yeah, I would have switched into my regular studded leather.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah, and I'm assuming you guys aren't walking around on plate or anything like that. You're in casual clothes. There's no real threat around here. The city watch keeps it pretty. I'm not saying you're not armed. I'm just saying, you're not walking around like you're going through a dungeon either. But there is I think there was a drow dagger. There was you still had some bolts and poison tips and stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff he would be interested in. All right, so Dak has made the pitch for the rest of y'all to maybe jump in with the Zents. There are other factions if y'all are interested in hearing about those. I'll just run through the list. And these are things you can make if you're interested. Don't care if you're not. It's totally up to y'all as characters. The Harpers are sort of populists, all about the greater good, but they don't really hold to any necessary organizations, right? It's sort of a lawful neutral type organization. The Order of the Gauntlet is more of a definite structured organization. They're holy crusaders, justice, honor, all that kind of stuff. Definitely on the lawful good side. The Emerald Enclave is a little more traditionally connected to, not around cities, but out in the wilds, definitely associated with druidic magic or rangers, things like that, more on the neutral side of the spectrum. And the Lord's Alliance is definitely more of a politically motivated type of organization. And then, of course, you have the Zents. So those are all options, and you would be well aware of all these things. They aren't secrets, but if you, while you're here in Waterdeep, if that's something that's interesting to you, then you can totally chase that down even after the fact, after the session here, and I'll post some stuff there about that. But Dak definitely can get you in with the Zents if that's your desire.
Does that mean I have to turn into a stinky, filthy human? What does this mean? Speak to me as if I'm 10.
That's a good point. Maybe the Emerald Enclave would be kind of cool with goblins. I think the rest of them, they're probably, what's that? Zents for sure. Yeah. I don't know about the other three. Probably would be a bit of an uphill walk there. But all right, so Zoc, you get a couple of solid performances under your belt, and your orc friend pulls you aside after the last show, and he's like, "That's it. We're going straight to the top. We got to go to the big time here." He says, "All right, look, 1 week from tonight, I got it. I can get you in. I just heard from my contact tonight." He pulls you. He says, don't freak out. This is really cool. How would you, Zoc and the Talking Heads, like to play the Yawning Portal?
Yes, and yes.
He says, I can get you in. I can get you in. Now, it's not going to be like your Friday, Saturday night, mind you, but I can get you in for a solid weeknight performance here.
Hey, totally game. I'm all about playing wherever, whatever, and this is definitely one of the bills that I've been wanting to play. So yeah, totally.
For anyone that might not know, the Yawning Portal is ultra famous in Waterdeep and really across the realm as this spot where you can basically go, and there's a direct entrance into the shaft into
the ruins.
Undermount, which is the massive underground complex that goes way down into the dungeons of Waterdeep, and dozens and dozens of levels down, where for centuries there's been all kinds of adventurers, but folks basically can jump into the portal and they can bet on who lives and survives. Basically, it's how long does anybody survive down there, because it's that kind of place. But they'll also do live entertainment. It's a proper bar, and there's all manner of legendary adventurers that regularly the place.
The yawning portal is so cool of a concept that there's this sprawling dungeon that exists under Waterdeep that was created by the Mad Mage. That's basically just like a trial by fire to show off whether or not you're a worthy adventurer. And then when you get to the tavern, you actually pay. You can pay passage to get lowered in. It becomes this dungeon crawling becomes a spectator sport.
Yep. All right. So, unless there's anything else folks want to touch on, I'm going to fast forward to syncing up the night of this last show the show that you have set up. Zaka, the Yawning Portal, is going to sync up Dak with the same night that you're supposed to meet your contact down at the docks.
Okay. I hate to miss this Zok's show at the Yawning Portal.
Yeah, well, it'll be like the show will be like in the evening, right? And it would be like a thing, leave from the show and then go meet your contact.
All right.
If you guys are good with that. But you have, multiple days of other stuff here if there's things you guys would want to accomplish in Waterdeep. And I guess, first of all, is everybody, Dak, make your pitch. Do you want to have everybody come with you here?
Yeah, I want to leave it open to everyone, saying, what we might have to gain from access to the Zentrum, like basically a global network of nefarious folk that can help us in our goals towards fame and fortune.
I'll tag along.
So basically, a club for no-gooders.
Exactly. Exactly what I'm talking about.
Sounds fun.
All right. Sounds like nobody's dissenting, right? So everybody's in for heading to Skullport from Waterdeep, right?
Yep.
Well, do we want to take a shot at the Yawning Portal?
Well, yeah, we're gonna get a chance to play the show for sure. Totally open. If you guys want a left turn and go straight into Undermountain, let's do it.
Maybe see how the show goes, and we'll be asked back.
So what's the bet for the Yawning Portal? Just to see if you make it down to the bottom.
Yeah. There's, depending on the night, there'll be different. Can you survive for X number of minutes down there, or do you come back at all? There's long running bets that people will just place and somebody will disappear down there, and after a few weeks you just assume they're dead and that's it. Every once in a while somebody will make it back out beaten up and horrified.
Halaster, the Mad Mage, created the ruins of Undermountain as kind of a place to keep his many treasures, where he's populated this dungeon with all kinds of horrific creatures to kind of protect his hoard. But he's Halaster the Mad Mage. He kind of if you ever heard of the Winchester House, it's kind of like the Winchester House if it were a dungeon. Yeah.
He just lived forever and kept building.
Kept building, creating crazy traps and filling it with all kinds of creatures that he could find, and there is fame and fortune to be made by making it down there and conquering it. But yeah, serious. If the Underdark wasn't already a challenge, this could be something similar. And there's paths to the Underdark from within the ruins as well.
Totally true.
Interesting. Well, I'm in no need to prove my awesomeness. I'm already awesome.
All right.
So what you're saying is drinks and music.
And a little dynamite.
All right. Let's Since we lost Mornhelm, let's go ahead and let's just take a quick break right now, and you guys can think about the decisions there a little bit. And I don't listen from my part. I don't care any one of them. Like you guys want to stage dive into the yawning portal? Like just straight up out. Like let's freaking go. All about that. So let's actually just a quick bathroom break and then come right back, get a drink, and then more.
What are options? What are our decisions? If we want to if we want to go to the yawning portal or what?
Yeah, Zoc's going to play his show at the yawning portal. Dak offered for you guys to team up with the Zents / tag along to Skullport with y'all, or I mean, it's Waterdeep. It's a sandbox. If there's something else.
Got it.
And we even have a couple of days here to chase other things if there's something your character is specifically interested in.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and I as a player, it's all like you said, a sandbox. I'm ready to play in the sandbox. So.
Right. This is where you do like a save as file, right? You're like, okay, take the left path, and then we can always go back and take the right path later and see what happens.
That's honestly an amazing concept. Like, we should totally do that.
I'm good with it. You just need a few clones, and you're good. Yeah. So Mornhelm, you've been. It sounds like pretty successful with the blue ladies here. You were.
We have our own group now. That if you need somebody, just little husbands or wives or anybody robbed or just basically put out to sea, we're taking care of that. In the Blue Man Guild.
What's that AC/DC song?
I mean, that they weren't hard to convince.
Dirty deeds.
Dirty deeds done dirt cheap. Yeah.
Another song for the night.
Yeah.
All right. I like that. And to riff off that a little bit, Clocks, you start to get at one of the shows, you as Mornhelm is sort of getting this little side hustle ramped up. You hear that there's going to be a bit of a protest, not really a protest, but more of a like citizens demanding action down at the guild, because there's been a string of disappearances and maybe murders or suspicious things that have started going on around town. And so you hear that a couple concerned citizens are going to gather outside of the Waterdeep guards barracks in the morning. If you wanted to join that little group there, what do you think?
All right. Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So let's do that here in the interim here for a couple of days. So Mornhelm, you've been at it, taking these little side jobs and dispatching your ne'er-do-wells to handle that kind of stuff. And Clocks, you show up and there's like these there's a couple of like fishwives and some haggard old people are going like, these police. You need to get a hold of this city. This is supposed to be civilization here, and now they're just like berating the captain, and like everybody else is like, yeah. What are you guys doing? We pay taxes.
and I'm just like taking some notes from like the first meeting or two. I kind of hide. Maybe I actually use my spell to like blend in. And maybe I like pose as like a little kid, like a newsie, like I'm selling tapes out on the street. And
yeah.
Hard block.
Like a little 10-year-old kid, with a little cigar in his mouth.
Hey, get your vapes.
Yeah.
I want them to be like fake tapes that you made up the night before with like the Weekly World News headlines, like Bat Boy abducts or Blue Lady murders. Fishmonger.
Right.
And everyone dismisses them, but they're actual stories of Mornhelm's Guild.
Yeah, well, I was thinking of our adventures in the Underdark, but kind of just like changing a couple names, but still, fishing town, disaster at fishing town, and drunken giant, trashes fishing town and stuff like that. Just
Amazing.
but like not really exactly our.
It sounds like we're gonna start our own like what were those papers called? Penny Dreadfuls of like our tales of the Underdark.
Yeah.
Selkie is going to faithfully collect every single one of them.
Right. Tyrant Dragon rules roughshod over Durgar Town.
Has scrambled eggs for breakfast.
Big scrambled eggs. It's a hot item. Get it while it's hot.
Yeah.
Mushroom. Town or village puts on a mushroom dance. And,
I feel like there should be like a column in the back. Every week you have different ways to cook mushrooms.
Yeah.
That will not be guest written by Selkie.
Awesome.
I have that little inspirational section where I tease it out of Dawnbringer while Selkie's asleep. I get a little like, it's kind of just like a poem, Just sounds like a little old lady wrote this poem like every week or something.
I was once lost in the dark. Then I found the power of friendship, and they brought me to the light. Like really like bad poetry. Like sometimes it rhymes, but like mostly it's just like free form rambling.
And a very poorly drawn version of Dawnbringer that's done by Clocks.
Yeah.
Amazing. I want a copy of this right now.
Yeah. Don't forget about Glabagool.
So good.
Yeah.
I love that Clocks' contribution to Waterdeep is he basically started fake news.
Oh, yeah.
He invented fake news Waterdeep.
Clocks.
Oh, and I like that too. You can have like a love column or a relationship advice column by Glabagool.
Oh, yeah, he's our advice columnist.
Yeah.
All right. Third way to abandon the campaign, we all become fake news journalists.
That's it. That's how we spend the rest of our evenings now.
That's amazing. So yeah, the circulation of your little paper really starts to pick up steam. Clocks and the town officials are just like, I don't understand. I haven't heard about any of these stories. Where is this coming from?
And that's why the protest is happening.
Yeah. So as I'm listening to the
paper.
So I'm listening to the protests. I start to weave in their problems and whatnot, and start to tell my own tale that starts to get the old fish ladies and cranksters riled up.
Yeah, super successful, and yeah.
What is it called? Steve Bannon's paper is like online.
Yes. Yes. What is that thing?
Whatever the Alex Jones thing was, like.
Right.
Infowars. There you go.
Infowars, yeah. This is Infowars by Clocks.
I mean, in real life, I detest the guy, but like in Waterdeep, I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah. Well, he is kind of a goblin, so.
Yeah, that's right.
He is.
It's true. There ever was one, for sure. That's amazing. Well done.
I'm totally open to the idea of we're talking about what happens to our adventuring company post Underdark. I'm totally open to starting an Assassin's Guild. I'm completely open to that concept. I'm open to going to Skullport. I'm open to going to the ruins of Undermountain. What's everybody else feeling? Because I want to make a suggestion. We go to Skullport, but we find a way there through Undermountain. Skullport's not far off. We could adventure through Undermountain on our way to Skullport, if we can find a passage through Undermountain to Skullport. It's a tall order. We have
That
to
sounds
keep,
pretty amazing, though.
We have to keep really close track of our rations.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got advantage on that now, so or at least not disadvantage. Rather.
I can finally see in the dark.
Yep, I'm definitely going to insist. If we pivot to Undermountain, we have to track every meal. We have to do that, and everybody has to say at least once one session that you went to the bathroom, or then you fail Constitutions. Nobody ever goes to the bathroom in role-playing games. Like, it never happens.
I failed my Constitution save.
I threw them off with a scent.
Wait 1 second. Wait 1 second. Okay, yep, I went to the bathroom.
No, all I can do is picture Clocks wearing diapers.
Why would he be house trained? I mean,
this is what we're doing instead of leaving breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
Nobody will pick up Clocks' diapers.
Yeah, I think Clocks, he just needs to embody all the wrong things about America. So he started his own InfoWars. I'm gonna just start being like the classical, like Calvin and Hobbes, you know, that picture where he's just like peeing on stuff all the time.
I mean, if Clocks is gonna be
I'm
Alex
just gonna
Jones,
inscribe that with my artificer, abilities. I'm just gonna inscribe that as much as I can.
You have to have your fake paper, but you also have to be selling supplements too.
That's the comic strip on the background. Is like he's pissing on something different every issue, right?
Yeah.
Well, we have to figure out in Waterdeep what kind of wagon or carriage is a Chevy, so we can be pissing on that.
For the levy.
That's amazing. So yeah, open to however you all want to approach this. So I am not putting this on the rails by any stretch from my side. So here's kind of like, to me, this is the pivot right here. Is like, so we got all these different opportunities, and there's this night at the Yawning Portal, right, where Zoc is going to play like basically his dream gig. He's got a following going, and there's all these other, potential like side plots and other things that everybody has going on. So I'm happy to jump to that if y'all want. But is there anything else you guys want to chase out in the meantime? Selkie, do you think you got a chance to like connect with your kin and?
Oh yeah, and I remembered why I go off on my own again.
Oh yeah, were they annoying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you show up to lunch and like all they want to talk about is like all the fake news stuff, right? You're like, oh no.
Guys, you know the dude that spreads this. No, it's real. I heard from my neighbor's neighbor.
Been there, done that.
Awesome.
No, yeah, bye.
Right. All right. So here you all are. It is the night of the show, and you all you show up on time. There's Zoc to load in, get everything set up before things start hopping, and this old grizzled adventurer is in there just and even though the place is this dinky tavern with low ceilings that's like smoky and poorly lit, like the bar is like gleaming and immaculate, and there's every different manner of liquor and concoction that you could imagine kind of all over the place in there. And this human man looks up as you come in the door and says, entertainment, eh? Well, I'm Durnan. This is my place. We're going to set you up. We'll put this, we got a stage we bring in. We're going to set it right on top of the portal. And that's where you're going to play tonight.
Whoa!
So he kind of like whistles, and a bunch of like burly, like bouncer looking guys kind of like start hauling out some planks and attaching these things, and they just start assembling while you're bringing in whatever your stuff is, and you all are all gathering there and getting ready for the show. So
cool. Yeah.
And literally they start on. There's what dominates the middle of the bar is just this massive. It looks like a well, but it's huge. that's just the shaft straight down into the tunnels of Undermountain. And he can tell you the story of the place, which we kind of relayed already. There's this rope, and anybody that wants to, he'll lower them down into Undermountain, drunk or not. And and he charges them 1 gold to take the rope down, and when they want, he'll charge them 1 more gold to bring them back up on the rope. And the rope's like caked in blood, and
just 1 gold to come back up. That's generous.
Yeah. So here you are. It sounds like we're at decision points here. What's everybody thinking?
Selkie's been wearing her tricorn hat ever since Dak mentioned he was trying to get the skull port.
Very fashionable. Yeah.
I've got my wizard, my wizard hat, my hat of wizardry. Sorry, made of skin. It's got its nipple right there on the side. Freshly polished. I did get it polished. Like everything is
just the nipple or the entire hat.
You spend a lot of time polishing that nipple, Clocks.
Sorry. I couldn't resist.
Oh, it's all nice and shiny. Yep. That and the nipple's been polished enough where, it's actually kind of sticking out just a little farther than it usually does.
That's proper.
So what is sort of the plan here after the show? How do y'all want to proceed with this? Basically, how do you want to proceed with this campaign?
I know for Zoc, his one goal is to, after this, because he's really now probably about to be full of himself. So he wants to get back to Nurgle and just meet up and just tell him, because I know they were going to meet back in the Underdark. So that's going to be one thing, and then think of his next move as to playing and probably seeking out his advice.
Yeah, and at the longer that you're here in Waterdeep and away from the Underdark, and that you made sort of that, what you took to be sort of an offhand promise to Nurgle, to eventually return, like you sort of feel over time more and more, it less matters what you want to do and more compelled.
Yeah. Okay.
Like come back over time.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah.
Zach's totally gonna dive off the stage at the end of the encore, isn't he? Straight for the Underdark.
All right. So it sounds like Zoc wants to end up back in the Underdark somehow.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how we get there to him. He's just along for the ride in that respect.
Mm-hmm.
And Skullport is in the Underdark, or it's on the surface?
Yep. It's attached to the Underdark.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can get there for the surface via Dak's contact with the Zents, or you can try to find it through Undermountain. Yeah.
It's sort of at the drain of Skullma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's more like a drain. Yeah.
Yeah. Then Selkie's firmly in the pirate camp.
Pirate camp. You want to take the ship to Skullport?
We're pirating away.
All right.
Fully in support of being pirates again.
Okay.
Bornhelm,
what are your thoughts?
Well, I think my assassins, they'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't want to go underground again unless I'm absolutely sure there's going to be drow down there.
Oh, well, there's no doubt about that.
Further revenge against the drow.
Yeah. If you want drow, Underdark is where they're at for sure. So it sounds like Mornhelm's good with however you get there.
Yep. Boat or under. All good.
Clocks, thoughts?
So I guess it sounds like, as a recap from everybody, that they're all ready to head for the Skullport. Do we know via Undermountain, or is that kind of what the vibe is?
Either through sounds like Selkie was wanting to take the ship. The Dak made a contact so you could take a ship over to find your way into Skullport from the surface. Sounds like Selkie was leaning that way. Zoc and Mornhelm want to end up in the Underdark, but aren't too particular about how they get there. The ship is definitely like the more, you feel like you've got a pretty good connection there, especially if you guys are all leaning toward being sympathetic to the Zentarum. That's a good connection, but it's certainly not the only choice.
Okay. Yeah, then I'm kind of indifferent.
Okay.
I did want to run a special on the newspaper. That there was going to be like some winners that that received like a vacation, like a free vacation, and it was going to be and that they needed that it was going to be announced in the paper, and they needed to show up to the event to receive.
That's brilliant.
To receive the vacation receipt, and then we would all take a picture. Well, like whatever. Somebody would draw a sketch of everybody on the platform right at the end. So after the show, come up on the platform. Everybody stand there for the sketch.
Just
selfie.
Just to say, pull the pipes out from underneath it.
Is it's just gonna be like the Dropkick Murphys, where they invite like the entire like front 10 rows onto the stage?
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, you advertise the hell out of this show, clocks and through whatever means you want. Is there an actual vacation or anything, or is it just pure hype?
Well, they'll get it. They'll get it when they show up. They'll receive the vacation.
You're absolutely going to drop everyone into the hole, aren't you?
I guess you'll just have to come to the show and find out.
Brilliant. That's brilliant. That's amazing.
Very pointedly does not enter the contest.
That's far better than naming the band Free Beer, so people will show up.
Yeah.
Tonight at the Yawning Portal, free beer.
Yeah.
Opening for.
All right. Dak, which way are you leaning?
We're at the Yawning Portal. You know what I mean? We're already here. Just to dabble in the ruins sounds fun. Or maybe we get to Skullport, we find somebody that wants us to treasure seek in the ruins. I don't know what kind of work is going to be available when we finally find our way to Skullport. But you know what? I'm open to all options. I'm excited about the rest of our group becoming members of the Zentarum. If that's an option, we can all be members of the family. But I'm going to leave it to the rest of the crew. All options sound great to me.
Okay. So what I've heard, I think, and y'all can tell me if not, the only strong preference I really heard was Selkie kind of wanted to be a pirate and take the ship. Other than that, everybody's sort of, and it sounds like, maybe, Dak, it sounds like you're leaning toward Undermountain through the Yawning Portal a little bit.
We're at the Yawning Portal. It's weird to be at the Yawning Portal and not even just look around.
I mean, as long as we get to be pirates again at some point, I'm okay with whatever route we take to get there.
I think for Zoc, he's got to get back at some point, but he's got to get back quick.
Back underground.
Yeah, back underground for some reason. I'm just eager.
Selkie's sadly gonna put her pirate hat away for now.
All right.
Maybe it's a cruise. Maybe.
Oh, that's even better.
Another huge lake down there.
All right. It sounds like we have a quorum. It sounds like we're going into the pit. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Zoc, you're all loaded in, and you've had you sort of have polished your bit, and you have your set list that you've done the last few nights or whatever, but you feel compelled, given, personally, this is, maybe probably your last show for some time, at least in Waterdeep, right?
Yeah.
And but also like, when are you might not ever be on a stage this big again with this kind of advertising,
right,
and all of that, and in the yawning portal, so you feel like there's the need to do something a little extra, a little over the top here. So what do you have planned for the night?
Well, I was already planning on burning some spell slots. So I know if this is like a central stage, I know I want to go on invisible, basically.
Okay.
So I'll be casting invisibility, and during that time, I want to kind of build up the room, just to be able to throw some cantrips off there, minor illusion, dancing lights, thaumaturgy, just until the show starts, just kind of really setting the tone. And just really kind of like a dark, just building the tension, building the suspense. And then I say, when it is showtime, then invisibility drops and the show begins.
Got it.
And maybe at some point even throwing mirror image on there for like, some other bands. Yeah, the band come on and so going that route.
All right, so Zock's doing he's building the tension, and folks have started piling in, and Durnan's a smart businessman, so he's got a happy hour that lines up kind of right the first half hour, 45 minutes of the show to get people good and loose before the music starts. And so the crowd's piling in, and Clocks, you hear a couple people like grumbling in the corner, like they're like, "Oh man, when is this show gonna start? I gotta work in the morning. This is a weeknight show. What is this bullshit?" And he says, "Also, there's supposed to be a vacation here. What the hell?" Do you guys sign up for this thing? And they're like all like pointing to their papers.
Hey,
so Clocks, you got a few minutes of a tense crowd here to work if you'd like to.
Do I find a moment to like head up on stage? Is that what you mean? To kind of like address everyone? Okay.
Up on the bar.
Are you Clocks as we know him, or are you in some kind of newsy disguise or something else here?
I mean, they probably don't have a problem with goblins, right? Do you think? Is this kind of a mixed crowd? Do you think?
I mean, Waterdeep's pretty cosmopolitan. It's not the most unusual thing in the world to see.
Yeah.
Monster races walking around and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll probably try to. I'll burn the slot to maybe like present myself a little bit more. Like nobody's gonna trust a goblin, right? But maybe they'll trust like, you know what? I think about back to this. Who was the guy that we met that was like all gung ho, who turned into a mean pirate at the end?
Fargus Rumblefoot.
Fargus, yeah. So I'll kind of like turn into Fargus, right? And I kind of have just this like vest and suspenders and all this kind of stuff, and I kind of take that persona as I go up onto stage and I'm just like, hey, yeah. Like, oh man, so many people here tonight. I hope you got your papers. Everybody got their papers. We're gonna announce some winners here at the end. Stay tuned at the end of, Zoc. What's your band's name again? Free Beer.
Talking Heads.
Yeah, Zoc and the Talking Heads.
Zoc and the Talking Heads. Yeah. Okay. So at the end of the show of Zoc and the Talking Heads, we'll announce some winners and we'll bring them up on stage. And we'll get a sketch, and you all will receive your free vacation for those that win. So stick around. And it'd be like, oh man, it's just such a great thing. So thanks everybody for coming out.
Hashtag power of friendship.
Power of friendship. Night on vacation.
They're all like, yeah, okay, all right, and everybody's starting to kind of get their drinks and head toward the stage here. Dak, what are you doing with the pre-show vibe here?
I'm going around the room looking for people that look like they're really not into it, and I'm casting Charm Person.
All right, yeah. There's definitely a couple of dudes at the back. They're like the Waterdeep equivalent of like hipsters, and they're like, oh, so derivative, man. Like I've already heard like this chord structures are just weak, and he's not that good.
Nope. Charm person.
He's like, man, these chord structures are the best thing I've ever heard. It's like he took the last thing I heard and took it 5 levels up. And the guys are all like, and all his friends are like, oh, yeah, totally. Let's go check it out. Yeah. Perfect. Selkie, what are you, how are you riding the wave here right before Zoc sort of drops the opening song?
Just attempting to make sure I don't pay for any of my drinks or food.
All right. Yep. Deception or persuasion, your choice.
All right. That'll be a 19 for deception.
All right. What do you tell this? There's this half elf guy with like half of his head shaved and the other half is like grown long. He's sort of hanging out at the bar in his best leathers. What do you tell him to talk him into buying you some drinks?
I start embellishing our already pretty great adventures and leaving out the part about treasures and just talking about, man, it's such a shame we did all this good down in the Underdark and didn't get any kind of reward for it.
And he's already a little bit in his cups and he's like, oh, wow, beautiful and strong adventurer. This is darn it. She's on my tab all night. You make sure she doesn't want for anything.
Oh, thank you, kind sir. Your kindness is much appreciated.
He said, hey, this band, are they any good?
Oh yeah, this guy pretty much followed him around the Underdark listening to his music. He's pretty awesome.
Wow, so he's like and a patron of the arts to boot. This is amazing. Awesome. All right, Bornhelm, are you hanging out with your blue group back there, or how's your night go?
The ladies are circulating through the crowd, having a great time tying people's shoelaces together and robbing them, and piling all the big bag of coins in front of Selkie.
Yes.
Nice.
I'll be discreetly pushing them into the bag of holding.
Exactly.
All right. With all that teeming excitement going on in the background, Zoc, you feel like the moment has come. What's the opening number and what's it look like?
Let's see. I think.
Go ahead, Glutz. Sorry.
Before we start, so like after I kind of deliver my message on stage, I just want to sync with Zoc real quick before it starts, and I'll be like, "Well, you guys, don't, like I tell them, not to worry. The songs are coming. Let me check on the talent." So I'll walk backstage or wherever Zoc's hanging out, and I'll just touch base with Zoc real quick, and I'll be like, "Hey, all right, Zoc, what do you got? You just gonna play your set and then everything's done? Because I got a little finale in the works for you."
Oh, no, give it, Clocks. I've always wanted you to be my pyro man.
All right, okay. So
heavy on the pyro.
Heavy on the pyro. Sounds good. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Just
I do lots of
fireball
flame.
into the group.
Yes, that'd be awesome.
Fireball into the mosh pit.
Oh no.
All right. Well, I've got a little. I'll need some of the crowd's help. I'll probably pull them onto stage towards the end of the show, right at the end of the show, right when you're done, and then we'll kind of we'll give it our hurrah.
Hey, all right, that sounds good. The stage will be yours afterwards.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, go get him, Tiger.
All right. Anything else before Zoc kicks in the tunes? All right. The moment is nigh, Zoc. What's it look like? What happens?
All right, it's going to be, of course, you said it was smoky in there, and the dancing lights are playing off.
And Durnan he knows he's a showman himself a wee bit, you know what I mean? And he'll go around, and he starts putting out all the candles and the lamps on all around it, and so you have like just dim light through the whole place.
Yeah, excellent. I'll have my dancing lights just kind of go dim, the minor illusions, just kind of waving, almost like like a fabric around this 360 stage that's upon the yawning portal. And I'll go ahead, cast Invisible, and go up on stage and just kind of play the intro music, just the sullen, just dark tones. And then when the time is right, the curtains drop, I appear, the lights from the dancing lights just come on bright, and I'll go into, we'll go do Black Sabbath's Paranoid.
Yeah.
Just like those classic riffs. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what we'll do.
Outstanding. So go ahead and roll performance check at advantage.
Oh, okay. And I'm going to get ready also to burn a luck dice if need be.
All right.
Because that was one of the feats I took.
Yes, lucky.
All right. I have on one of the die a 29.
Whoa!
Are you gonna also add luck to that? It might not be enough.
Might not be enough. No, I think we'll roll with that one.
All right. Yeah, with a 29, like when you hit the turn and after the first the intro, right, in Paranoid, like the reverberations of your music just shake the rafters of the whole place, and like you can see like dust that's been there for centuries like gets knocked loose and like is coming down, and there's like motes like trailing through your dancing lights, you know, as you kind of rock through the front of your set.
Perfect.
What is anything anybody wants to do during the show other than just kind of keep working what you're whatever you were working on before?
Once the show starts, I'm rocking out.
Okay. All right. Sounds like it's up to you, Zoc, to just describe how you kind of work through the set and then build up to the final number.
Okay. All right. I guess just continue on with that vein. If that seems to be like, and did he give me a limited time to play? I take it. All right. Limited set or what?
I mean, you're the only act tonight, and it's not too strict here, so you got the time you want.
All right. So I'll do that. I'll come out with that big power song. Next one, keep it heavy as well. Kind of wane, the crowd, just kind of get them a little calmer again with another tune, and then just bring it apart again. So and keep doing that, just in these waves, these crashing waves. So yeah.
Like throttle the tension, like bring it up and down, like give people breaks, but don't let them get bored.
Right, exactly. To make the heavier songs even that much more potent.
Awesome. All right, what's this grand finale look like?
Well, I'm hoping for my pyro guy to be there. Do I see clocks?
Yeah, he's you give him the nod and the touch. You see old Fargus back there at the back of the bar, and when you're ready, give him the wink or the nod.
All right, excellent. All right, so I'll do that. So what does Clocks have in store?
So I guess I'll have some some different like sparklers kind of set up around the stage, and as you kind of have the right cue, maybe I link it up to some certain power chord or something like that, and when you hit it, just like green sparks and flame, sort of green flame.
Yes.
Back and forth just as you go.
Awesome. I love it. Can you do like an Eldritch Cannon too? Can you like make that appear on stage? I remember seeing AC/DC one time, and they had for those about to rock, they actually brought out cannons and actually shot. Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. So that'll be my finale right there. Yeah.
All right. So I'll build up the Eldritch Cannon, and I'll just just blast it off to your cue.
Yeah, just get wild with it. Yeah, I love it.
Stuff whatever I can in there, and
yeah. Maybe shove those heads on stage, put those in there too.
Ooh, yeah. So all right, yeah. So
firing severed heads into the crowd.
Come on, it's gonna make an impact. No pun intended there, or any.
Amazing. All right, the crowd is going nuts. They're loving. Even Durnan back there has got it. You catch a glimpse of him behind the bar, just kind of eyes wide, like, wow, haven't seen that in a while. And the final pyro goes off, and the last effect dies down, and and the lights start to kind of come up in the room, and it's sort of your curtain call now, Zoc.
All right.
How would you like to proceed?
Do I get to do like an encore?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's gonna be it.
If anybody doesn't start chanting encore, Dak pokes him with a dagger to chant.
Yeah. Excellent.
They're totally...
So okay, all right, great. So I'll do an encore, and so I'll come up on stage, and I'll start looking for the winners. Who are the winners out here? I hear there are winners, big winners, vacation winners.
Yeah.
I got tickets.
Come on up, you. Come on up. I start getting. I'll ask Mornhelm and Dak to see if they can be like the bouncers in the front, like just
Throwing
picking them up. Yeah, throwing them up.
Yeah.
I'll just pack the stage like a Dropkick Murphys concert, and we'll go into Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap.
Beautiful.
Before you start, like, we have to make sure like everybody comes up on stage. Like, so like
everybody.
Dak,
like us
Selkie, and Mornhelm. We have to make sure the whole crew.
Everybody. All right, that sounds good.
Stand close to Clocks because I am going with the assumption that he wouldn't blow himself up.
and that's only a small trust in that, you know.
It's very small.
Yeah.
All right. In short order, you have half the bar up there, right? All crowded around on this stage, just sweat and smoke and a little bit of blood here and there from the mosh pit, just all mingled together.
Love it. All right, I'll just keep playing because I have no idea what Clocks has in store.
All right, so I guess here's the question to the DM. How do you travel to the under? Like, do you just go through this yawning port, like this?
Literally straight below your feet.
So you did, like, if I was to go there, I would just jump in.
Straight. I mean, it's through the stage you're standing on. You're standing above the hole right now.
Right. So, but like if I was somebody, I would just go in, right? I wouldn't like rappel down with the rope. I would just jump in.
Yeah, sorry. Right. There is a rope like that they can lower you down on. Yeah.
Okay. So
I mean, are you planning on using all these vacationers as a cushion to land on?
So I guess, well, are you asking me? Or are you asking me, or are you asking Clocks?
I whisper it quietly to Clocks. Are these people our cushions?
And I'll be like, and I'll say, well, you need a little fodder for distraction once you get down there, right? So with my sort of mechanical ability, I don't know, maybe I have to roll for this. Would I be able to fabricate like the hinges of this? Like, what I was thinking, and you can tell me if this is too much, was that some of the supports for the stage would be able to give way with kind of like a final explosion.
Yeah.
And
if
it would
you
just
want,
kind of like,
if you want to do that.
It was like, it's like the stage would then just kind of like lower into the.
Where should you do?
I would say like you can definitely like
a pulley system or something like that would kind of like lower with the ropes, and it kind of like the stage could kind of lower. And
so here's what I'll say. You could have maybe what you did is like if you thought this through ahead of time, you could have had like a net that's below the stage, right? That's because he has a pulley and a rope that goes up to the ceiling that he lowers people down all the time on.
Okay.
Right. And so like if you want the stage to just like, if you want to just destroy the stage, basically,
yeah,
it would give the appearance of like everybody just falling through the stage into the portal, but then there's like a net down there below it that all the bodies would just kind of like fall down on, and then it could and then lower down sort of.
Okay. All right. And then
it sounds like that's the direction you were going, so I'm assuming you would have thought of this ahead of time, so that's cool.
Yeah. Yep. And I would have had the forethought to like make sure that everybody's gear was with us, so it's not as if
you guys were you were leaving after this one way or the other, so you guys are all geared. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So that's kind of that was my plan, was like the final finale. Once I feel it from Zoc, I'll hit it. The supports would just kind of like explode in the final green flame firework effect, and I would yell, "The vacation is here!" And we would all just fall into the net, I guess, and get the underbound.
Yeah. The deck kind of just like blows apart at a couple of critical like hinges or trusses and stuff like that. And if you're looking at it like if you weren't up on the stage and from the yawning portal, it looks like everybody just falls into the pit. Right. But then like you go down about 10 feet and there's just like this mass of bodies that you guys are all part of, like, where you're caught in this net. Right? And then Durnan says, "It seems like madness to me, but that's what they wanted." And then he whistles and the rope, like the thing starts to lower down into the portal. Is there anything you want to say or do as you descend into the ruins of Undermountain?
Thank you, everybody, for participating. I'm going to go into clocks. Like, the Arcus is going to turn into clocks. And I'll grab my cigar and I'll say, "Thank you, everybody, for participating. It's a vacation. There are no refunds. Enjoy yourself." I'm not sure what to expect down there, but I think that's the whole fun of it, right?
There will be no guided tour.
And so go ahead and roll. Clocks, give me one intelligence check or a tools check, like if you have your something like that.
Okay. What a tools check be under?
If you have proficiency with like your tinkerer's tools or something like that.
Yep.
I think you can just add your proficiency bonus to like maybe a dex check or intelligence, whichever one you want.
Okay, my intelligence is +7 because I think that already maybe has proficiency to it.
Okay.
I don't know. So, but if I add my proficiency to that, I would get a 14.
All right. It's less than what I was thinking, but this is good. So like you guys, like Clocks has like this master plan, and like you guys, and so like you start to like lower and you get like just out of the lamplight and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden like you hear like, and then like a rope snaps and the pulley kind of breaks and like, and you guys fall like the last like 30 feet. I'm not going to take damage or anything like that, but like you and all the people that are there, like all like fall into the darkness. And Durnan calls down and says, "Hey, you owe me a lot of gold for lowering all those people." And you guys crash onto a sandy floor at the bottom of this pit, and you jump out of the way just at the last second because you see rope like starts like coming down, and then the pulley that was on the ceiling of the yawning portal like smashes down like next to you.
Oh, God.
And you are in the darkness at the bottom of the well, presumably near the entrance to Undermountain. And that's where we're going to stop for tonight.
Hey, we're in Undermountain.
That's absolutely incredible.
Thank you, Wisconsin.
Put it on the house.